DHG here. It's been a while since I did my initial video for Starfield. I'm probably about, let's see, exactly what my gameplay time is. 2 days and 6 hours in, so I've been playing it quite a bit. At this point, I'm just kind of hoping it gets better at some point. I mean, there's some features of it I like, but overall, so far, this is my rating as of now. If I were to do a review on this game immediately, which I'm not, I'm gonna play through it and then make my decision, obviously. But if I were to rate it right now, I'd say it's average. I mean, this is a far cry from what I expected from a Bethesda game. Here's one of my outposts. This was one of the things I liked in Fallout 4. Apparently it started off as a mod, and then Bethesda took ownership of it. There's still probably mods, but I decided to check this out, and I actually got quite involved in this. There's a lot of different bugs with this, like, okay, there's one of the bugs right there. You cannot use this. It is obstructed. It is not obstructed. You have to save the game and then reload it, then you can use it. It's annoying as hell. Very annoying. I also had all these chests here because apparently, unlike the Fallout games, where you can stash all sorts of shit in your chests in the base, if I remember how that was done correctly, but you just stashed everything in like a certain container in your base or something like that, and then you could access it for any type of building projects that you had within that settlement. I stashed things in here. As far as I can tell, I can't use them while they're sitting in a chest like that. Now, if I stash it in here, these storage containers, it seems that I can use them, but then I have to make a bunch of these. I don't like how the system's set up. I mean, maybe there's some things that I'm missing about this. In fact, there probably are, because this game seems to go pretty far into detail on a lot of aspects. Why does she keep popping up in front of me? But insofar, I'm not that big on the outpost building in this game. I think they went a little too far with it. I'm not enjoying it all that much. Sometimes there's a certain beauty within simplicity, and I think that Fallout 4 was good, and they could have expanded on what Fallout 4 did a bit more with just like being able to construct bigger bases and all that, but I kind of feel they went overboard here. Something else that I'm going to be bringing up in a second here that I really don't like when compared to their other games is the star map. It takes some getting used to. But apparently all these areas that you see, all these little dots, they're different not galaxies, they're universes for you to explore. Okay, now that's pretty cool. That gives you a lot of content to explore, but let me just go back into Alpha Centauri here. Let's go to... I have not been to this moon yet. So let's go there. And you're going to see the problem that I see probably almost immediately. Now keep in mind that all the previous Bethesda games have had... Yeah, I said had twice. Oh, it's a helium-3 mine right there. But all the previous Bethesda games were made... I'm not exactly what the word for this is, but a lot of things in here are randomly generated. Things in the previous games weren't. Original content, maybe you could call that. But everything in the old games, I want to say handmade, but that's not it either. Everything was very unique, purposefully built in the old Bethesda games. In this game, you know, you land on this planet, you land on the next planet, and it's, you know, you could investigate that site. You could go over there and see what's going on over there, and over there. You could walk around, you know, looking at the resources, but there's X amount of planets, explorable planets in this game, and they're all the fucking same. All of them. I mean, why on earth would I bother exploring what's over there, when I know I'm just going to jump on another planet and it's going to be the same goddamn thing? Why? A metric fuckton of randomly generated content is not as good as what they had in the previous games, where every single section of the map was unique. Like, you go to certain sections on the Skyrim map, or maybe Morrowind, or just name any map. It really doesn't matter as long as it's one of the old games. But it was unique. You weren't going to see the same things over and over again. Maybe some of the dungeons look similar to each other, but each dungeon still had its own feel. Here, exploring the different points of interest on the map, on the various planets, I run into the same structures over and over and over and over and over again, more times than I can count. I mean, hell, when I was even exploring Alpha Centauri outside the city area, which is about the only unique thing in this game, is the big settlement cities like Alpha Centauri or,
Can I have a moment of your time?
Shut up.
Fly as safe as you can without a quality.
But what was the name of that other one? It's like an old west town, Connie or something like that. Those are the only original pieces within the entire game. The rest of this, it doesn't matter which system you land in. So far, I have not seen one as being any different from the other. So unless you need a resource on that planet, there is absolutely no reason to go there. None. That was one of the reasons why I loved exploring in Bethesda games, is because you could go to all these different places and you're going to see a lot of cool, unique shit. Like, think of, what was the name of that place in Skyrim? I think it was called Blackreach or something like that. That gigantic underground cavern that they had. You see a lot of really cool shit like that. So far, I've run into nothing like that at all in this game. There's a lot of missions and such, which I'm going to go a little further into this one here, since it's close by. It's just disappointing. They created such a huge world, and it's like they got into the mindset of size over content. And this is one of the problems that I had with a lot of open world games going back.
Hey, let me know if we're going to head in.
Open world games going back even to the 360 era. I was starting to see this with games like Just Cause 2, which had a massive map, absolutely massive for that time. But you just see a lot of the same shit repeated over and over again. Then Just Cause 3 and 4, like they used a lot of the same stuff over and over and over again. It starts to feel the same after a while. The Bethesda games always did a good job. While they did recycle some assets, they were very good at creating their maps. I think one of their best maps, other than Skyrim, was Fallout 76. Had a great map, wasn't a great game, but it had a great map. Something else I really don't like about this game. I mean, this has really been bothering me, because this is something that's always been good in their games. The music. The music in this game is... I can't say it's bad because it's not offensive to the ears. If it is, I just shut it off. But it doesn't really add any depth to the game either. Nothing. Like in the old Morrowind, they had tunes going on in that would get stuck in your head. Skyrim had some extremely good music in it. Fallout, you never forget the opening theme for Fallout. Stuff like that. They had a lot of very good themes and music throughout the game that actually fit the gameplay really well. This game it's just like the game world that you're playing, going from planet to planet. It has no identity whatsoever. This game kind of feels like an experimentation on new tech they wanted to try some stuff out with, other than, an actual concrete idea for a game. But let's get on with the mission. I doubt my opinion about that's going to change as I go through this.
Is your neighbor's new recruit?
careful. Walls
Dialogue
are ears.
options ain't all that great either.
SY920 is one of my regular stops, so I already have the necessary approvals. Neva says you're after a piece of UC tech. So to get it, we're going to need to get you on board.
And it looks like you're after more black
But I have
eyeliner.
conditions. Good. If I can be candid, for this job to work, we'll have to do this my way. We take my ship, and you're a member of my crew. But make no mistake, once you board, the risk is entirely yours. This route is highly lucrative, and sacrificing it is not an option.
It sounds like you're sporting a fake Chinese accent.
There's more at stake than just your route. We're determined to get on that station, with or without your help.
I realize this is important to Delgado. I also know he would just as soon kill me to get what he's after. I'm simply setting boundaries to help protect my interests, while still serving Delgado's. In any case, when you're ready, meet me at my ship. It's the Jade Swan. And make sure you're prepared for the long haul. Once you're on board SY920, you can't come and go as you please. We'll talk more on the ship.
I did have a couple button mapping problems as well, but I got that figured out. But the thing I said about the music and the game really having no identity whatsoever, that has really hit me big this entire playthrough. Like, I don't know why they decided to leave Fallout and the Elder Scrolls behind when they could have just... maybe it was fatigue. Maybe they were getting tired of working on those two series, which I can completely understand, but they were jumping into a territory that was already expertly done by another developer, BioWare, with the Mass Effect series. When it comes to exploring foreign planets, hostile alien worlds, what they're doing here is, I would argue, worse than what BioWare did with the first Mass Effect, and that game's about 20 years old by now. So that's saying something. I mean, there are other space exploration games out there, but it's very hard to beat Mass Effect. They nailed it. As long as you don't count Andromeda, which had a... I would argue that Andromeda probably had the coolest premise to start off with, and then just ruined it.
To you, Captain.
Not going that way. I do think it is relatively entertaining to enter other people's ships, though, like non-hostile ships, eat all their food, and then just leave. Or, you know, I could do this, too. I did not want to switch to third person. I haven't tried combat in third person yet to see if they ever fixed the problem with the aiming. Because in the old games, where your bullets actually hit was not where the cursor were. And it looks like they fixed it. Okay, I remember in Fallout 3, you could not play in third person. Same with Skyrim, it was kind of hard to use your arrows with third-person cameras, and I liked using the third-person camera in those games. How the fuck do I get up there? Oh, there's a door there. Yeah. Come in here, take all your shit. Performance-wise, the gameplay is fine. Kind of surprised how good they made the game look without the usage of HDR and, to an extent, ray tracing. I don't think ray tracing is that important. HDR is, but they included something in this game that I have not seen in a very, very long time. A contrast slider. I don't recall seeing one of these since the OG Xbox days, or maybe early 360 era. When you first start off, you got the default settings, and the default settings look like shit. Also, if you don't like the screen looking all fucked up, which I don't know if changing the settings will show something here. I'll talk about it once I get outside, because it's not really visible all that much inside a ship. But the game uses temporal anti-aliasing, and if you've ever noticed the shimmering, let's not call it a shimmering, but you could describe it that way. Kind of like a popping in and out of textures of grass. If you've ever noticed that with TAA, it is wicked strong in this game. You can turn TAA off, but then you have all sorts of other issues, so you have to go into, or at least I had to, turn on FSR. It made no difference performance-wise. The frame rate still dips in the biggest cities, but it made the game look better, oddly enough. Not entirely sure how that works. Normally these upscaling technologies make games look worse, but perform better. In this game, it made it perform exactly the same, but look better. Ah, hello.
Alright, a few things to note. When we get to the checkpoint, UC military will be hailing us. Let me do the talking. Pretend you're a piece of cargo if you have to. Good. Say nothing and let their minds fill in the gaps.
As long as we aren't actually stuffed into the cargo.
Hey, she's giving me fisheye.
You'll have the same accommodations as my crew, provided you follow the rules. Now, like I said before, once we take off, there's no turning back until this job is done. If you need to take care of anything before we leave, do it. If you want to ask me any other questions, go for it.
Where are your egg rolls? You're Chinese, you gotta have some.
Alright, then get comfortable. We leave
Oh
for
my
SY
god, that's a
920
stereotype.
and
Yeah, it is. Go fuck
All
yourself.
crew prepare for takeoff. Routing power to engine and grab drive. All systems go.
Boy, my ship doesn't take off like this. Must have some sort of
We'll graph jump the SY 920 from here. Don't worry about your personal ship. The fleet will make sure it's
artificial gravity generator inside the ship.
Just try not to
We
bother
were
my
on the
pilot
planet and
while
we were
flying.
all still standing up right when this thing took off.
I've spent half my life walking and chewing gum at the same time. I can handle a little banter.
Sounds like you're putting in a request for double duty.
Captain, I retract my earlier statement. For the record, I don't even like gum.
Noted. Just get us there safe.
Roger that.
Hey bitch, what are you doing?
So, I've given you everything.
You've entered secure UC military space.
Okay.
Identify yourself or you will be considered hostile.
This is Captain Huan Daiyu, cargo
I was gonna
captain
say, that
of
kinda cut my
UC
conversation short.
7938, requesting permission to dock.
Identity confirmed.
I don't know what the hell she said. Yeah, I'll just agree, whatever.
I knew you'd understand. So, with that settled, I suppose we just keep it a quiet ceremony? Just the two of us?
I think we should invite your mother.
If anyone else had suggested that, I'd say no. But, hearing it from you, I know in my heart that it's the right thing to do. I'll send her an invite and we'll see if she shows. Anyone else? Or will the three of us with Aja presiding be enough? All right, it's settled then.
I don't know
I'll
if this
send a
is
message to Aja
an additional
asking for
quest
her
because I
presiding,
already
saying,
unlocked the romance
"Since
stuff
you're
with
ready,
her.
let's head to Paradiso.
Yeah, it must be. Because she said, I loved you at the end.
Okay, we're in. First things first.
After
The
playing The
station
Witcher
is
3, the
enormous,
romances in these
with
games seems a
checkpoints
little lame because you
everywhere.
can't bang them.
To get past them, you'll need a
Witcher
military uniform.
girl
And to
from
get
Witcher
a
3 was
uniform,
like a sex
you'll need to get to
machine.
the barracks.
It was hilarious.
There should be
He'd
a way
bang
through the
anything.
vents. You can get to them via the maintenance door downstairs. There's an intercom there as well, where we can make contact. Once you get a uniform, it should be fairly easy to find an elevator to the command bay. But if at any point your cover's blown,
Yeah, okay, I wasn't paying
I would
attention to
hope
a word you said, but alright,
Either
whatever.
way,
Bye-bye. Alright, shut up. That's it. I'm out. Your gigantic, confusing ship.
As long as the credits keep rolling in.
What do you got in here? Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Excuse me.
No excuse for you.
Ask for a bigger cut from Delgado? Captain on deck.
You with the Jade Swan? Loading and unloading only. Stay clear of the military barracks.
Where are the military barracks?
Hold up. This area is for SY-920 military only. Rules are rules. Can't let you in unless you're military.
I don't have anything in Persuade unlocked. So I'm not even gonna bother.
No, you...
Let's go down. Doesn't appear anyone's looking, and I turn invisible when I'm crouched. Ain't that neat? Took me a while to get used to this new unlocking system, but I think it's kind of neat now that I know what I'm doing. Okay, it's got to be that one. The other one sure as shit didn't work. Oh, there we go. Bethesda games always level up lockpicking. Usually repair, but there is no repair function in this game. Except... Alright, I did not expect to see that there. You're dead. I'm gonna come in here and steal your cheese. Oh, it's so tasty. It's a big ass vent. But it is like a space station or some shit. This is something I don't like about floating quest markers. When there's multiple on screen, it's like, alright. A bit confused. No, I don't want to talk to you. Shut the damn door. Security standards. Rules of engagement. Oh, that's what I was after. I'll take your money too. cred sticks. Cred sticks have New World Order written all over it. You can only spend your money in approved places. I don't think Bethesda was going for the whole dystopian future thing in this game, and I'm kind of glad, because it gets a little depressing after a while, since there is actually a danger of going there should certain people get their way. But the two games that were being talked about a lot in the past were Starfield and Outer Worlds. Outer Worlds came out like way before Starfield. People were talking about, oh, I don't know what I'm going to play, Starfield or Outer Worlds. People are like, dude, you're not going to see Starfield forever. It turns out they were right. Outer Worlds came out like 3-4 years ago or some shit. But Outer Worlds, they did the whole dystopic future thing where corporations get control, and it's pretty much just like a fascist oligarchy running everything, except they did it in such a funny, humorous way. I actually enjoyed playing it. I might do a playthrough of it at some point. I mean, the first thing you saw in Outer Worlds was this worker slash slave that was just more than happy to give his life to the corporation, still quoting the company mottos and sales pitches as he was dying. It's like, oh god. They really go into all the unethical shit in that game. They really did a good job with it. My only complaint about Outer Worlds, since, you know, I can talk about that here since Starfield and Outer Worlds are similar games, wasn't enough ranged weapons.
This is Captain Huan Daiyu.
I've made it into the command bay.
And no alarms or warnings on the comms. Music to my ears. If you found a uniform, be sure to put it on. That'll provide some cover. Don't know what you're after, but I'm guessing there'll be another checkpoint. This far down, you might need a clearance code.
Plenty of options to be sure. We just need to choose the one that plays to our strengths.
Right, if you know yourself, you'll know the best path forward. If the two of you plan on using a disguise, try the security office. Otherwise, there's always a way around. Going dark for now. We'll talk again once you've located your target.
Okay, looking at this environment, I might be able to show you what I was talking about earlier with the graphics. Sometimes when you change graphics in a game, it will screw with the recording device. Hopefully that doesn't happen here, but let me turn FSR off. Okay, it's not doing it in this environment. I'm seeing a lot of flickering on my screen. Especially, like, look at this texture right here when I move it around. Colors bouncing in and out like shadows or something like that. It's noticeable within the floor, too. It's not that noticeable in here. Maybe I'll get to an outside environment at some point and I could show you there, but it looks absolutely terrible. I first started playing the game and I got the outside environment. TAA was on and I was using native resolution. I about threw up. Oh, going to be stealthy, huh? There was some interesting missions in this game, though. I mean, a lot of missions in the Bethesda games so far have been I would say rather simple, on the simpler side of things. But there was this one mission I did earlier. What was it? I can't remember. Yeah, it was Crimson Fleet. You had to go on to some sort of like a giant, it's like the spaceship version of a cruise ship. And you have to find out a bunch of information, do a bunch of like James Bond type shit. It was actually pretty cool. Far different from the general Bethesda quests that I'm used to. Spike. Engineering Bay 4. I just upgraded my credentials. Fuck you all. Got anything else in here, like a skill book? You really gotta look in every nook and cranny to find the skill books in this game. I don't know if there's a perk, I haven't looked through them all that thoroughly. But in the old game, I think there was a perk that highlighted useful things like skill books, materials. Don't know if that's in this game, but it would certainly be helpful for skill books.
I don't know you, Ensign.
Don't know if I can get there from here. This is something I was speaking about, how I didn't like the maps in this game. Oh, they added that. I've never noticed that before. You don't have any, like, top-down maps like you did in the old games that showed you the layout of the dungeon. You pretty much have to just memorize it by head. Or memorize it by memory. Memorize it by head.
Dr. Vogel has put in a request.
Stop right there, Ensign.
Seems there was an accident.
Stop right there.
Not to change the subject, but are we concerned about potential leaks?
How do I get out of here?
Until you can provide more substantial proof, we'll simply monitor. For now, I'd recommend to Dr. Vogel to contact.
That was a pleasant change of scenery.
Are you here? Cargo's almost unloaded. We'll be departing shortly.
But I'm your cargo.
And I've delivered you just as Delgado asked. That being said, I can stay in orbit for a short while. I'll need to send word to Delgado anyway, if you don't get off that station. But it looks like you'll need to find your own way off the ship. That doesn't mean you're trapped. On a station this big, there are bound to be other vessels you can steal. As a member of the Crimson Fleet, I trust you can handle that.
Yeah. What a dick.
You do that, and you won't be just burning this bridge. You'll be ejecting it straight into a supernova. Good luck. If you make it out alive, next time you're at the Nova, I'll buy you a drink.
Yeah. Targeting computers? Target her. Why bother with steps?
Intercepting transponder data in the Alpha system might be promising. According to
Kind of looks like an old Greek guy.
Results in risk increased by a magnitude of 2. But we won't tell Commander Natar. Wait, who are you? Why are you in here? Did you not see the sign?
I can't read.
Don't you mean access to the ship? Because the comm spike isn't a device, it's a module. It's attached to a prototype in one of our docking ports. We're still in the testing phase, running decryptions across a variety of signal types. but the results so far have been very promising. It can even interpolate signal data lost in the retrieval. It really is a wondrous technology.
Sounds like he's getting an erection.
Yes.
Please stop. I can only become so erect.
But it will give us a significant tactical advantage. We'll be able to infer everything from battle plans to meal consumption. Not that we'd care about that sort of thing, outside of the effects of diet on combat readiness. And yes, there are certain kinks to be worked out, missing parts and the occasional traumatic injury here and there, but it's all part of the adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you could, but why would you want to kill birds? Seems needlessly cruel, don't you think?
Sometimes brilliant
However,
people are so
that might make
oblivious.
you the ideal candidate to be one of our test pilots.
Apparently he's
I've requested
never
a
really
full
heard that
squadron
idiom
of these
before.
brave and fearless Marines to be transferred to the station. They'll
I really think she's a bitch, but let me take some drugs real quick here. Increase my chances. Unless I sold them all. Yeah, there we go. Oh my god, my personality is just like so much better. Why am I carrying shit parts? I think that's the only one that helps me.
Huh. Do I know you? Splendid. That normally my requests aren't given. Classified. I'm the head of the Spike Project.
Normally I haven't had much luck with the greens, and I haven't attempted the reds. The yellows seem to work in my favor the most.
Commander Natara, you say? Oh. We don't. I'm sorry, but I don't believe you. Now, if you don't...
Alright, bye-bye, Juan.
Steal the Spike? Why? Who is this person?
I didn't like her anyway.
Damn space pirates. Say no more. I will contact Commander Natara immediately.
Wait for Dr. Vogel.
Commander Natara, this is Dr. Vogel.
What is it now, Doctor?
We have an intruder on board. Captain Juan Dayu is not who she says.
Wait, Dayu? She was one of the captains on Messina's list.
Apparently, she's with the Crimson Fleet.
My
She's after my
God.
Spike.
Don't worry, Doctor. We'll sound the alarm and have a strike team directed toward the cargo bay.
Good.
Jettison her out to
The pirates
space.
Here, I'll have them secure the prototype. Make sure it's safe. You are a pilot, aren't you? You've got the look, at least.
Yeah,
Take
because
this
all
key card.
pilots
It'll
have
give
an
you access to
archetype.
Docking Bay 8. I need you to make sure my prototype is safe.
Commander Natara. Strike team units head to the cargo bay immediately. It's a red alert. I repeat, this is a red alert.
You don't want that.
I don't recognize your face, Ensign.
You aren't assigned to this level, Ensign. You need to leave.
Yeah, I'm getting out as long as I can find out where the fuck to go.
Hey, if you aren't assigned to this level, Ensign, you need to leave. I don't know you, Ensign. You sure you have clearance?
You aren't assigned to this level, Ensign.
Hope you didn't want this oxygen. let's see who in the Crimson Fleet's gonna bitch and moan about this. Oh, this is one of those damn confusing ships. This must be a big one. Actually, no, it's probably a... I don't know how they class the ships in this game, but I haven't leveled up that skill yet. Oh, it was right in front of me. I would like to get a giant cargo hauler at some point. I'll take all that.
On Commander Natara's orders, all ships continue pursuit of Captain Juan Dayu. Cargo class ship ID UC-793A. She's with the Crimson Fleet and should be considered extremely dangerous.
Do I get to help take her out? Just in case. I guess not. Oh, I gotta go to the lock with it? I thought I was going to the key. I wonder how many people played this and they just couldn't stand waiting a whole 10 seconds for that grab jump to occur. Like, oh God, it's too long. I'm gonna have gray hair by the time it's done. Didn't it just point me towards the lock? Whatever. It is a Bethesda game. There's bound to be bugs. It really makes me laugh when people complain about the bugs in Bethesda games. I'm like, dude, you guys have no clue. You've never played Morrowind on the OG Xbox. You never played Oblivion. Or any of the PlayStation 3 games that... I understand Oblivion wasn't that bad, but... Well, I can't say New Vegas because that wasn't made by Bethesda. But Skyrim was a freaking mess on PlayStation 3. New Vegas was, without a doubt, the buggiest game I've ever played on that console.
Always listen to Delgado.
But yeah, the Bethesda games nowadays have relatively few bugs that I've noticed compared to the old ones.
Surprised to see me, Rhett? Delgado may let it slide, but I don't do kind of...
Oh, don't worry. I already killed one member of the Crimson Fleet. I knew you'd be fine.
Tell that to my bank account.
Too bad. Cry about it.
Route I have. It's going to take me months to set up something even remotely as good. Not to mention getting the UC off of my trail.
You done talking?
That is the only good thing to come out of this. You may have fooled Delgado and Eva, but I don't trust you, Rook.
Good, because I don't like you.
You better find that legacy, because to me, that's the only saving grace you've got.
If you've got time to stand around, you've got time to do a job.
The hell?
Jasmine tells me that you not only brought us the ComSpike, but an entire prototype UC ship. I'm impressed, Rook. Very impressed.
His voice sounds really familiar.
Should have taken the compliment, Rook. Dale doesn't give those out often. Juan gave us the full rundown of your little smash and grab operation. She's actually pretty pissed, in case you didn't notice. Claims you blew her cover.
Yeah, I did. I don't like
doesn't
her.
like how things have gone, and she wants to bail on her share. That's her problem. Now, on to the business at hand. Jasmine, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, boss. What's up?
How's it going?
I already have 2 of my crew tearing the ship apart from one end to the other. Comm spike shouldn't be too tough to extract. I'm looking forward to seeing what those UC techs have been up to.
Keep me posted. All right. That leaves our electromagnetic atmosphere problem. And I think we've discovered a solution. There's a corporation in the city of Neon called Generdyne. They're responsible for the massive conduction grid that powers the city. We get our hands on their electrical absorption tech, and Jasmine swears...
Oh yeah, I went to that place earlier on in the game.
You damn right she can. My girl can piece together a jump engine with her eyes shut. Literally, I've seen her do it. Lost.
All right, let's not get... Now, why don't you give us the info on our Neon contact?
You get to meet up with the lovely Estelle Vincent. She's had her deft little fingers on the pulse of Neon for some time now. Whatever info you need.
Her voice, I can just imagine a black woman like swinging her neck from side to side.
Most reliable captains we have. If I want something done, there's none of the typical bullshit. It gets done, and after. No. There is no getting along here. You are going to do everything she asks. Follow her instructions to the letter. She is valuable to the fleet. You piss her off and we lose her as a contact, you're going to be answering to me.
Oh no.
Understood. We'll do our best to remain on her good side.
What would I do without you, Sarah?
You'd be better off appealing to her bank account. That...
Estelle will be waiting at Madame Sauvage's place.
Oh, so that's how you pronounce that word? Sauvage?
Chances are she won't mind. Girl,
I always thought that was French for savage. They just had to throw the U in there.
We are one step away from Quix's legacy. And we...
I don't know what language is older, French or English. I imagine French is. God, I hate using this thing. But I forgot where the elevator is. There we go. That works. Alright, I want to head down to a planet's surface. Particularly one that's either got a lot of sand or ice, because that seems to make that graphical ugliness show up the most.
Right, Captain. Where are we headed next?
I should be right by one. Yeah, down there. No. The planet's surface. There you go. Let's land right here. Right on this gigantic frozen chunk of shit. Oh, this is something else that bothered me about this game. Don't know how many people are actually still listening at 49 minutes. But, in the original Mass Effect games, and some of the other games that I've played where you explore other planetary surfaces like Outer Worlds, when there was an environmental hazard, there was some type of status effect that you were getting. Like in Mass Effect, you would take damage in some certain areas. In this, it's like, oh, extreme planetary cold. Freezing cold and snow. I got stimulus addiction. That's funny. But, okay, what's the penalty for the freezing cold and snow? None that I can see. Quite retarded. It's not very, immersive. Okay, now, let me change the graphical settings again. Yeah, I was standing on the surface of Mercury, and I couldn't notice any difference for my status effects and whatnot. Okay, I don't know if you can see it in the recorded video screen, just because sometimes what I'm seeing isn't how it actually looks in the video. But I'm seeing a lot of lights and shadows like bouncing around in areas where there should not be. And when I'm just looking at something static, it's fine, but you move it around and you can see like globes of light moving around everywhere. I noticed in the previous video, I tried to show a little bit of that off, and it was very, very hard to see in the video, so I don't know if you got to see that or not. But yep, here's another planet. Really no point in exploring. Alright, that's the end of this one. I don't know when I'll be updating this again, but I'll have the review out at some point. This is probably going to be quite a long game.